And welcome to my OMG Caretaker family. I'm Tezzy Baldwin. I'm your host, and thank you for returning. As promised on social media this week, today I want to talk about the items needed in order to apply for Medicaid. Sorry about the glare in my glasses, first of all. I am going to share my screen because I want you to see the actual application, and then we're just going to go through the items that are needed in order to apply for Medicaid. Just So this is the actual Medicaid application itself. Um, why would one want to apply for Medicaid? Well, if you're 65 and older, you would want to apply for Medicaid for multiple reasons. One, you never know, when you're going to need the additional supplement. So if you have Medicare, if you have a Medicare Advantage plan, Medicaid and the Medicare, like I talked about before, they complement each other. They go hand in hand. It comes in handy if you're if you're the person taking care of needs a skilled nursing facility, because Medicare only pays for certain things, but it does not pay for long-term care. Medicare will pay for a qualifying skilled stay at a nursing facility, but it will not cover you for any long-term care that you may need. Um, Medicare, just so you know, does not cover, like I said, a stay at a skilled nursing facility. It also does not cover eye exams, hearing aid, dental services. Those things you would absolutely have to get a supplement plan for. It would not be covered by Medicare. And then annual routine exams, wellness exams, kind of things. Um, Medicare covers certain parts, but these parts it does not cover. So if you're the person you're taking care of is just getting their Medicare benefits and you're wondering what Medicare actually covers, hospital, like I said, a qualifying stay at a skilled nursing, medications, but it does not cover, again, and I'll go over the following: eye exams, and these are routine exams, contacts, glasses, hearing aids, or the actual test in order to see if you qualify for a hearing aid, dental services, so it does not cover exams or the dental work needed. And then, as far as the wellness exams are concerned, while the Medicare does not cover annual exams that include blood work, like the full workup that you'd be accustomed to getting while at a doctor's office, Medicare covers annual wellness visits. So the wellness visits is a visit to develop or update a personal prevention plan and perform a health risk assessment that's covered once a year, and Medicare covers that at 100%. So when you go to your doctor's office or when you take your loved one to the doctor's office, make sure that you're asking for an annual wellness visit. When you start asking for a full workup with blood work and labs, you're probably going to see some out of pocket expenses for that, because Medicare does not cover any type of things of that nature. Um, just putting that out there because I think it's important to know before we get into Medicaid and what you need in order to apply for Medicaid, what Medicare covers. I'm going to have another video that's going to go in detail, more in detail about what Medicare actually does cover and then what they do not cover. So let's get back to our Medicaid application. The actual application itself is 23 pages long, but it is very, very detailed. The questions that I constantly get asked about applying for Medicaid is, well, Medicaid's going to take everything from me. I'm not going to be able to have things. I can't have this. I can't have that. I had already filmed a video on, um, Medicaid and what they cover. Um, Myths, Medicaid myths. So go back and look at my, I believe it's episode 6. It's called Medicaid Myths. And it does go over the myths, things that we believe versus what, the truth actually is. Very helpful information. But I also always get asked about the documents that are needed in order to apply for Medicaid. And these things you will have to send in along with your application, which you can do online, by the way, in order to get the process started. So, your social security card, if you have a passport, your birth certificate, things of that nature. If you have a power of attorney, guardianship, any kind of court orders, that needs to be submitted. If you're the caretaker, caregiver, not taker, but caregiver, um, those things will need to be submitted. Um, any type of bank accounts, if your current loved one is getting Social Security, that bank account should have their name on it. They're going to need 3 months of bank statements submitted. With those bank statements, anything $100 or more, they do ask for an explanation of what it is. So if, let's say, you've been paying the bills with your loved one's Social Security, then if it's TXU, then I would just write light bill next to it. If it says Verizon Wireless, cell phone bill, etc., things like that. Um, Big ticket items, anything $500 or more, will probably more than likely require some sort of receipt. Um, they'll probably be looking for a receipt of some kind. A rule of thumb that I always like to put out with my caretakers and just families in general is anything that's spent from that account should always save your receipts. It's just like what you would do for your own personal taxes. I keep all of my receipts, scan them in. So at the end of the year, when I am doing taxes, it's easier for me to kind of recant, what I have done throughout the year. And then I have my receipts to prove it. This is going to be much of the same. Um, any kind of insurance policies, life, burial, health insurance, um, they're going to need copies of that. They're going to want to see if your burial insurance, what kind of policy it is, your life insurance, if there's a cash value associated with that insurance plan. They're going to want, explanations on all of those things. Any kind of bills, receipts that you have over the past 3 months from medical expenses, dental, medical, vision, that kind of stuff. If you've had any kind of out of pocket expenses that have come through, from doctor's visits, hospital visits, make sure you attach those things. Stocks, trusts, bonds, annuities, everything needs, you need to make sure you're sharing it. There's a copy associated with it. One of the things, or another thing that I like to let my families know is there's nothing to hide because Medicaid will find it. I mean, it's the government. If it's out there and it has a social security number attached to it, they're going to be able to find it. So there's nothing that you're going to be able to hide that they're not going to come back with a question on. So I always like to encourage to just provide that information up front. That way there's no surprises. And then you're not caught off guard when they present you with their findings, because that's what will happen. They will have all kinds of questions about past, history, especially if it was something that was not included in the documents that you've attached. They're going to find it. I see it all the time. There's questions, sometimes it even gets the person a denial because they weren't upfront about X, Y, and Z. So make sure you're just upfront and honest about all of these things. Um, that you're not trying to hide anything, that you're just putting it all out there and then allowing them to be able to make that determination from there. It's just super, super important that you're upfront. The other thing and the last thing I will say in this video that I highly encourage, every single line on this application needs a response. Even if the response is non applicable, it just needs to be in A, because there's going to be a lot of information that's going to be on here that may not apply to the person. Do not leave it blank. Do not leave it blank. If it doesn't apply, it is an NA, but every line needs to have something on it. The other thing that I will encourage, and I know we've talked about this before in the video that I made about the elder law attorney. If you need one, there's a video, I believe it's episode 5, that I made about an elder law attorney. I would definitely consult one before you put your application out, especially if there are annuities involved, stocks, bonds, trusts, homes, vehicles. If a spouse is still living and you're just unsure about what you can and can't have, I would definitely reach out to an elder care attorney before you submit the application. That way you're not getting a denial and then, kind of left trying to figure out what I'm doing, what's the next step? Can I move forward? That kind of thing. But yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of the things that you need in order to apply for the application. But the application itself will take you some time to fill out, but be encouraged. You can get through it. There are resources available in order to help you do so. I am a resource. I am not an insurance broker or agent or of any kind. I can answer questions, and I also can point you in the direction of brokers, agents, elder care attorneys, etc. Okay, thank you for tuning in. I'm Tessie Gilbert Baldwin, and I will see you later. Bye.